I'm so sorry. That was the meanest thing
Say
I've
that
ever
again on
said.
That
camera.
was,
Say it
that
again
was
on
I'm
camera.
not
super out
saying
of
that.
pocket.
I'm not saying that again.
Jake, welcome back to Mariner Mondays. It is currently
Yeah.
Sunday at night. Jake is
I
shaming me
hate
for my
it.
loss of hair.
I
It
wouldn't
is
say I was
normal.
shaming you.
Shaming. Yes.
Shame's a strong
Um,
word.
Mm.
Brittany is, you know, on
Half
another
on.
plane of existence, having still moving. I was just saying moved as in past tense. That feels incorrect.
I
Um,
actually am like I just finished the process like an hour ago. So
oh,
Yay.
so it's
yeah.
fresh and raw, like this win over the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The sweep,
Um,
you mean?
yes, we'll get to that, Jakey Poo. Jake, who wanted to do a game recap of last night's game about the Orc Wars, and now Jake is going to say, "Have you guys not heard about the Orc Wars?"
You're
Like three
not,
people will.
the Orc Wars, it was every tweet I saw for like 2 days was Orc Wars, and now it's dead. The Orc
Oh,
Wars are over. There's no more orcs. There's nothing more reviled than the
I
orc.
still think you're making words
you
up. I
believe
don't
this
know what
man.
these words are that you're saying.
Oh
I
wait.
wish I was that creative. Actually, I don't wish I was. I It's like making fun of a bad book that everyone was doing. So I don't want to be that creative because I don't want my book to be bad. Go Mariners, Charlie. You were saying.
No M's.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna move past the Orcs. Uh, if you hear quips out of the corner of my camera, our lead photographer and my dear friend Liv Lyons is just off camera here, um, and is editing. Right now, they're cracking pictures, but I'm sure many lovely pictures of tall skeins. It is not wind today.
Live, laugh, lions.
Yes, exactly. Okay, before we get derailed, because I have another show to do in like an hour. Um, oh yes, nice 7 game homestand. I don't know why the MLB schedule creator said, "Hey, Seattle Mariners, 2 week span, 2 4 game series. Have two of them. Call it good." They split the one in Minnesota against the Twins, and then they did the same thing against the Royals. Won the first game 6-2. I felt great. I said Monday 6-2 victory. This is wonderful. The pesky Royals, even though they like really haven't been that good this year, Kirby looked good. I said nice. This is great. Cal Raleigh hit another home run, which again feels like he does every single day. And then they lost game 2, 3-6. I said, what the hell? Why are we doing this? The Royals, they're very annoying. Somewhat, oh, that's right. This was the sacrifice Emerson Hancock to the gods
Oh my
game,
gosh, that's
Leave him
right.
out there to die.
pretty much. God, yeah. 3 runs in the first 2 innings, gave up 2 more in the fifth. They said, sorry, you go ahead. Salvador Perez remembers to hit the baseball. He's so annoying.
Yeah.
Three three RBIs in that one. Um, they come back and win game 3. I said, oh, guarantee a series split 3-2. Mooney another save. Oh yeah, that's right. This was the series. This was a homestand of Randy Arozarena, which we'll get to. God, what a guy. 2 hits, 1 run, 2 RBIs for the Randy. Logan, I mean, it wasn't bad. He gave up a run, but he only went 4 and 2/3. He's just been really inefficient in his outings, which is tough. We'll get to the pitchers. But then they split the series 2-3 loss on Thursday, which was just frustrating. I mean, they had so many options. Like they created traffic and they let poor Logan Evans down. They called a child back up, who was a great talk. I have to finish that feature I was going to write about Logan Evans. Um, 5 and 2/3, 3 hits, no runs, just the one walk, 3 Ks. For Logan Evans, Casey Legumina, 3 walks in this one. Um, just not great. 3 run 7th inning. I mean, the Mariners were clinging to a 1 run lead from the fourth. Just wasn't sustainable against the Royals. It was sustainable against the Pirates, apparently. Um, so yeah, then the sweep of the Pirates, as Sir Jakey mentioned, 6-0 on Friday. They beat the Pirates into submission, and in the last 2 games, they decided to, skirt along and edge it along very, very narrowly over the last 2 nights. Um, I know Brittany has been busy with the move, so I won't ask you too much about the past week of baseball. Jake, I know you had to because you had to recap last night, if I remember correctly. Anything that stands out to you about this past week of baseball before we kind of get into different things, like with the starting pitchers, with Randy Arozarena? I can't like I saw the Jeff Passan song of Randy Arozarena the other day and it's stuck in my head now, considering what week.
That's a banger.
I got nothing. I'm quite pleased. The Royals series was a little bit annoying, pesky. The Royals are a very pesky team to play. Um, I'm always frustrated when we play the Royals, especially in Kaufman. I'm glad it was a homestand. If this was in Kaufman, we would have suffered a 4-game sweep for sure, because that's an evil ballpark.
Evil
Um,
Wilbur.
but no, I'm not too bothered by it. It's a shockingly symmetrical series, really. 6-run win, 6-run win, 3-1 win, 3-1 win. Kind of back and forth. I think the Mariners and the Royals are very similar in the terms of like quality right now. So sounds about right. I'm very pleased with the Pirates series because the Pirates are quite bad at baseball.
Yeah.
So if we had even like gone 2-1, I would have been disappointed because not that I'm not enjoying a sweep. Sweeps are great, but the Pirates are extremely bad. So it's good to actually beat up on bad teams, and the pitching has been immaculate. I mean, it has to be right to get a 3-game shutout. Um, there have been a lot of weird stats flying around about like the last time the Pirates have been shut out 3 games in a row. Um, and I think people were saying that this is the first time that the Mariners have ever,
Yep. From
uh,
the lovely folks at Mariners PR, including Sir
yes,
Mayor of Alex.
have ever shut out a team in all 3 games in a series. So go Mariners.
According
Um,
to Alex as well, it's the first time they've won back-to-back 1-0 games ever.
no way.
That's what he said. I
That's
trust that big brain.
That feels
that's
super 2022,
yeah,
2021 coded.
yeah. Well, I guess it's 1-0 because they were winning all of the one-run games, but they were also giving up 4 and scoring 5.
There you go. That's it. That's the difference.
Yeah, no, the pitching the last 2 games has been perfect. Brittany, I don't know how much of yesterday's game you caught, but Luis looked like Luis.
Mhm.
There was just nothing the Pirates could do to touch him. First time through the order, he retired him all in order. He gave up like one little bloop single to lead off the fourth, and then he got mad and threw like 97 for the rest of the inning.
He said, "Wait, let me
Um,
talk to you."
yeah, exactly. No, the pitching yesterday was perfect. Pitching today was perfect. It's sorry, the pitching on Saturday and Sunday. If you're listening to this on Monday or in the near far flung future, um, yeah, no, it's been immaculate. And of course, put up 6 runs on Friday for some fireworks for the fourth. Cal hit 2 home runs, and then it was Randy and Demo also had home runs on Friday, right?
Yes, Demo. Oh God, we got to get
Emo
we'll
home
get
run.
to that.
I don't want to talk about Demo right now. And Randy having like the best week of his life.
My
Like
God.
what, 5 or 6 home runs in
5 home runs.
Six, six over the
6?
series, the homestand. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
six
really?
home 6 home runs in 7 days. Um, that boy can hit the baseball right now. Never mind the fact that he struck out 4 times on Saturday, although one of those strikeouts was on a pitch way outside the zone. But you don't see me
That
talking
was
about
a
it
Chris
anymore.
Guccione masterclass.
Yeah, uh, it was a crime was done to Randy. But yeah, I'm happy with where the Mariners are. They're off to New York for 3 games.
Yeah, that road trip is ugly. I guess we'll start with the pitching here. Yeah, I mean, you talk about Luis Castillo. Just it was interesting. It's interesting seeing people talk about Luis Castillo because he's like maybe
This
it's I'm referencing the Andy from Toy Story. I don't want to play with you meme a lot lately. Feels like people have done that to Luis Castillo.
I started doing
Um,
that last year. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he's been pretty solid this year.
yeah, he has. It's been really surprising, and like I will be the first one to admit that.
I mean, yeah, there's a few stinkers. If I'm looking at his overall game log. There's a stinker here and there, right? But I mean, seven innings of one-run baseball at Texas in his last turn of the rotation. 7 innings of shutout baseball, obviously. Um, by the time this is being recorded, 2 days ago for us right now, in the present state of being,
Hmm.
yesterday. Uh, you know, 2 runs, yeah, stinker against the Angels. Oh, being unable to hold a lead. That's right. You cannot do that. So
Oh
just
my
don't get a
gosh. Don't
lead.
get a
Just don't
lead.
get a lead.
Yeah,
Um,
just make him lock in.
yeah, no, he's had a lot of pretty strong outings here. I think behind Sir Brian of Lou, he's got the most quality starts from this rotation. I think he's at 11 now. Um, it might be 10 still. He's double digits is the point. So
Yeah,
he's
and
been pretty good.
it's interesting when you look at the breakdown of it because like his batting average against is the same as it is this year as it was last year when he was like uh
Oh,
having one of his worst seasons. Like they're hitting off of him still, and they're hitting home runs more off of him this year. But they're not hitting doubles, they're not hitting triples. Pretty much everything that's not gone is just a single. Um, like his home run per nine is up, but his slugging is way down, which is fascinating, and it seems to be working for him. I mean, his ERA is right back in line with what you would expect for Luis.
yeah. I mean, it's been interesting, yeah, as the older guy, so to say, to see him kind of get back to it. And again, given the struggles with efficiency and the injury that Logan dealt with, given the poor year that Bryce Miller has had, both
Mhm.
unfortunately, I'm interested. Brittany seems to be cooking something over there. There's eye thoughts going on over there.
I'm just
Uh,
looking at his Savant page and it's just like all the underlying things are concerning. They
Yeah,
are.
do you
But
think he's gonna explode?
that's the thing about Luis though, is he is good enough usually to get by, right? And to pitch you a quality start. As long as you don't have as long as you don't give him lead.
Yeah, these are. I'm seeing a lot of blue. This is not good.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's fascinating.
the expected ERA 4.52. That's
Woo!
tough. Very high barrel and hard hit rate. The chase and whiff is down, and so it's those are not great things. But he's gotten by so far, um, for the most part. I watched the summary of the game, and he looked like 2022 Castillo, from
Hmm.
the cherry picked highlights I saw.
The cherry
Yes,
pick highlights. Yeah.
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how not cherry picked that was.
That's
There's
so great to hear. Munoz, I did catch. That's the inning I caught. Was disgusting. That
Disgusting.
was the best he's looked all year.
hmm he killed Andrew
Yes.
McCutcheon.
Yeah,
Did you like
literally.
Yeah,
was it the sword he got out of Kutch that
yeah.
Gold said, "I'm tired."
Uh-huh.
So stupid. Um,
Oh man.
yeah, I think. I keep forgetting that I did this like little Mariners game reaction thing over somewhere over there. I don't know why I'm referencing it. Like the normal human being can see what's in the press box here. Um, and I had totally forgotten the fact that the Mariners had 3 more All-Stars named today. So we'll talk about them.
Oh
Talk about
yeah.
Moon. I want to talk about George though, because there's the discourse about George Kirby this year has been disgusting. Often as discourse is, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's like he's looked really good lately.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's
He's
interesting
back.
talking to him. Like talking to him today, it seemed like a child that was overstimulated getting out of the shower. Uh, he just did not. He's fascinating to listen to speak, but third consecutive quality start, has allowed 1 or fewer runs in 3 consecutive starts for the second time in his career. Also, last July, uh, another outing of 6+ innings with no walks, his 33rd of his career since 2023, most in baseball, and the 8 more than the next closest. He's not allowed a walk in 40 career starts, which is fourth all time in franchise history. Like his command was there, his slider was there, all of his off speed stuff really. Uh, he just he wasn't I was gonna say he wasn't flappable in this one, but that just feels wrong to say. But no, I mean he's looked good over the past.
Unflappable is the word you're looking for there, bud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to use the un. I didn't want to say he didn't look unflappable there. It's,
Mm-hmm.
the joys of podcasting.
Double
Wonderful.
negative.
Yes. Liv is over there like this man sounds so stupid. She just nodded her head. Hey, um, no, he's looked great. And it's just so fast. Like the first few starts coming off of the aisle after not having a spring training, after dealing with an injury,
Yeah.
trade him, trade him. I'm like, God, like again, I
Oh
realize it's
yeah,
just you know, but
yeah. People that were calling for
it's
him to be traded just don't have the heart of a winner.
no heart, not the heart of a winner, lacking in ball knowledge. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is interesting looking at his Savant page though and seeing blue and whiff rate, which is fascinating for George. I mean, he had 19 today. He out whiffed Paul Skeens, beta male Paul Skeens. No,
Saying a
um,
lot.
I think a
um,
lot of that is just like his kind of rocky starts to the start of the season. I think that's part
yeah,
of it for
Bingo.
sure.
I
Now
would
that he's
Yep,
love to
back.
play with
exactly.
this without those. But no, I've really liked because I love watching George Kirby pitch. I love watching George Kirby make people look stupid. Um, and he's looked like that the last few outings, which is really encouraging to see. Um, especially going into, obviously this last road trip before the All-Star break, but then the second half of the season, because so much of it just you wonder how some of these guys are hitting. I'm not saying the historic 2024 marks that they had, but even just looking somewhat normal, how much that impacts, the rest of the first half, right? So, um, I guess the only thing is Bryce Miller threw a bullpen yesterday, and he'll be in Arizona while they're on the road to keep rehabbing. I still don't know if I am going to count. It's like how I'm treating Gregory Santos. Bryce Miller this year is a figment of my imagination. If he decides to become reality,
Okay.
great. But I'm given the injury and all that, and what Logan Evans has given you, he, hey man, you might
Shout
need to
out
just
Logan Evans, man. I like that kid is just doing it. And I have so much respect for the way he's doing it. And he's shown some mental toughness. Like he's gotten himself out of some tough spots, and I know that the league will catch up to him at some point, but I've been so impressed with what he's done so far, and I feel really confident in his ability to adjust moving forward as hitters adjust to him.
it was you talk about the mental toughness side of things, and I talked to him the other day. I got to write the feature out still. Um, and yeah, I asked him. I was like, because I think Adam Jude and Daniel Kramer went down to Tacoma the like days before Cole Young got called up, and they ended up talking to him as well. But yeah, I mean, hearing him talk about, hey, he had his best start of his career the day before they sent him back down. He said, hey, thanks. Head on down to
Yeah.
Tacoma. We will see
Adios.
you later.
Yep.
Um, you know, that's tough. I
That's
mean, for a
tough.
guy who's younger and who has, like you said, like he's had outings where he's just fallen apart in the minors just because of one thing goes wrong, an error or a walk or whatever. Like he's obviously had to bounce back from that and learn, which ended up we actually one of the pregame sessions we had with Dan. Um, one of the AP guys asked about the mental skills coaches in the
Mm.
Mariners system. I said Mainers. Um, and we had a long conversation with Dan about that, which was fascinating. But good to know that those resources are available throughout the course of the minor leagues, for those guys, especially, guys like Logan, like Cole Young is 21 and, continuing to play baseball at the major league level, right? Yeah, no, I mean, anyway, to get to the point, Logan Evans, yeah, he showed a lot of, mental maturity, but he can talk a lot. That is for sure. There are a lot of pitchers who can just speak, whether it's they've been injured, but obviously, particularly the Tommy John guys,
You love
like
pitchers
Jake.
who yap.
Jake will know from Lookout Landing with Kate. Like Kate has told me several times about Casey Legumina,
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Kowar.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I remember when I showed up to spring training this year, she was like, Chuck, it's great to see you. I'm transcribing this Jackson Kowar piece. I'm like hour 4 of 9. Exaggeration, of course, but it was long. And I'm like, good luck. Let me get settled in here.
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah. Anything else pitcher wise? I know I want to talk about Brian, but I might save that for when we talk about All Stars.
Oh, I mean, little spoiler there, I guess. I
Yeah,
assume
I mean,
everybody that
people
listens to
will
this
know by
probably
now,
knows who we're
unless you
talking
live
about.
under a rock.
Yeah, this is the only place where you get your Mariners news.
Yeah, unless you
Um,
look at Jake's humpy doll in the background and
Oh, brutal.
Liv says justice for Humpy. I agree.
Yeah,
Sadly, Humpy
it's
will not win until like they've reached the World Series.
who won today?
King, they've been letting King win a lot lately, and I'm not a big fan of that.
Down with the
hmm.
monarchy.
I thought we were saying no kings. I'm confused.
That's what I
Exactly.
thot.
Yeah.
I don't
King
know how I
won
Well,
feel
on No
about
King's
that.
Day. What
Pride
kind
Month
of
is
shit
over.
is this?
It's time for more King, I guess. Did he win
Yeah.
on No King's Day?
Yes.
That's
And people were replying to our tracker. They're like, "No Kings." I'm like, "Listen, buddy, I just make the tracker. Shoot the tracker, man." Oh my God.
Can we talk about
Back
the fact that Matt Brash has already put up .5 F4 and has
you better believe it,
just
Kenny.
Canada.
been
Canada.
like fantastic? And that, I mean,
Matthew Brashear.
Wait.
yeah, I have so much respect for that. He missed a whole season and a half, and he's just been awesome. Just as good as ever, if not better.
Yeah. Yes, Charles.
I was gonna ask this because with how much they've been using him, like yesterday, to go back to it briefly, yesterday's ideal situation. Starter goes seven, you bring Matt Brash in and Andres Munoz, and you say, you're not hitting this,
Mm-hmm.
basically, to close the game out. Um, Ideally, you don't go 1-0 again.
Yeah.
But I'll find it. I gotta find. We talked to Brash post game the other day. There it is. But yeah, I that was ideal. I was wondering though, with how much they've been using him lately, Brittany has talked about this often on our shows. Are you concerned with the usage right now? I know,
Yeah,
he's coming back from the injury and all that, and he's building up again, but I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think they ramped him up in a really good way. Like they
Okay.
didn't go to him too quickly. I feel like too much too quickly. So I feel like he's in a groove now, and if he feels good and he looks good, I mean the stuff is as good as ever. And so the eye test at least says he's 100%. And if he's 100%, like go at it, do it, and he wants to be out there too.
Yeah, I think we got Matt Brash back. Here he is again.
Yeah,
Or another shot of maple syrup out for Matty Brash.
Yeah. I mean, he's coming up on like 20 innings at this point. He
yep,
seems fine.
It was interesting. The July 2nd game, he gave up his first run of the season. And I was really interested, a guy who'd been out for a long time. I know Matt Brash, like we've seen Matt Brash, but I was like, is he going to crumble here? Like you give up a run, your streak of scoreless innings is done. Like, how does he respond here? Right? Like the classic, like, all right, here's your challenge, go ahead. He responded well. It was interesting hearing
yep.
him talk about it, being able to bear down, make another good pitch. Um, and then Julio in the background, as we're talking to Brash, he goes, he's human. He's human.
Yeah.
Of course. Uh, just talked about his changeup, being really comfortable with it, that the kick
Range.
just gave great props to Ben Williamson and Cole Young behind him defensively. Because as much as those two have struggled offensively, their defense is beautiful. Like
Yeah, it is.
watching Ben Williamson play third base after watching Luis Urias is like I there are not many things that compare to that sort of upgrade. Um, but yeah, no, it's interesting hearing Matt talk about maturing a lot since the injury, taking games for what it is and enjoying and not getting too hung up on it. So no, it's been great to have Matty Brash back. But that's what I was interested because I know Brittany, you and I, before we added Sir Jake to the show, talked about worry about Trent Thornton exploding because
Oh
of how much they
God.
used it last year.
I
This,
still kind of worry about that, honestly. Like,
yeah,
Now it's kind
the
of like,
season's not over.
well, what if he does?
Knock on wood, knock on bald head. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
no, if I mean, if he was still 10 innings in and from returning, and they're using him this much, I would have a red flag. But at this point, I feel like he's proven um, that he can carry that load, and yeah, he's doing it. It's just, yeah, it's so great to have him back. He's so just crucial for that bullpen.
So I'll go away from pitchers now. We'll talk about your left fielder in Randy Arozarena. I mean, if
Unreal.
Randy, how ugly is this homestand? Because I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
I know this is an overarching theme for them over the last like 4 years, but I hate how much they depend on the long ball. Like Jesus Christ, they're so dependent on it. But no, it's interesting. Like Kate brought it up post game and look up landing Kate that 11 of his 14 homers have come at T-Mobile Park. How is that a thing? First of all, um, you know, and I was, when we were wondering because the media learned this morning of the All Stars. Obviously, we had to embargo it because it was on ESPN. They did the reveal show. Um, I was wondering if Randy might get some consideration. I know his whole season hasn't been great, but he's got some great numbers in certain categories. Of course, we can cherry pick all we want and all that, all I want and all that. But I know I wondered if he'd get some consideration because he hasn't been bad. I There was obviously anger with Julio getting it. We'll talk about that. Um, yeah, folks saying Randy should have gotten um that that honor over him. It's just I really hope this is the start of something for him. Because Lord knows they need help throughout the course of the lineup, let alone like protection for Cal. Uh, yeah, what was it? I think on July 2nd, is ranks among AL outfielders fifth in WRC plus, tied for fifth in F WAR, ninth in OPS, tied for fifth in doubles, tied for third in stolen bases. I know all of that stuff isn't, you know, wonderful per se, and it doesn't tell the whole story of him as a player, but looking good. And I know Pint Size Analyze on Twitter is getting the extend a Arena hashtag going. I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean,
He's only 30.
he's only third. Yeah.
He's figured out how to hit in T-Mobile, which is arguably one of the biggest
Again,
concerns, right?
11 of his 14 homers. It's so crazy.
That's really
Like
actually nuts, yeah.
a place where hitters come to die,
Yeah.
effectively. Tommy
He's got
LeBay
like 801 OPS on the year. Like good player. He's streaky. And when he's cold, it feels really cold.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what, a few weeks ago where it was just like he looked entirely uncompetitive at the plate.
Yes. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
Super
true.
uncompetitive, yeah. But that happens. You have guys that are just streaky like that, and they make up for it when they're hot. And he has been
Yes,
hot.
that's yeah.
Um, oh my goodness, what a huge boost for this lineup when they really needed it.
For sure.
Like you take away Randy Arozarena and you replacement, like put in a replacement player. Let's say, God, you put, I don't know, Dom over there and you put Miles in right. Like I don't. We're having a very bad show.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's not a baseball
without
team worth
Randy,
watching at that point, almost.
yeah, it's been cool too to see him and Cal doing his thing to each
Yeah.
other. Our photographer on site, one of the games, Andy Glass, got a great interaction between the two of them. If I'm not a lazy sack, I'll put it in here. But yeah, no, it's cool. And that was something that Liv and I talked about actually. We're gonna expose Liv here. Is you wondered if he was gonna be happy here because he seemed really happy in Tampa Bay. There were stories about, him talking to his Rays teammates last season after being traded here, and Liv was kind of asking, he's like, "Hey, how's he not asking, but saying, hey, he looks happier here." And yeah, I think he
Yeah.
looks a lot happier. He's enjoying it. Kate, we're gonna keep referencing Kate, who's normally actually sitting right on the other side of me here. Jake, you can tell Kate that we're continuing to reference her. But Kate's asked a few great questions to Randy when we get in post game about how, it seems like they'll do the Randy chants outside here. And then he'll get going. And he said, he's like, hey, yeah, when they chant my name, they get the best out of me. And it, like gives him an extra boost. With some of his swings when they chant his name, you can tell that's how he is. He's swinging out of those little cleats. Um, but no, it's cool. It's like it's nice to see him being embraced. You know, again, a guy who'd been with that ball club for so long. Um, so no, it's really cool. Yeah, and you really need him to get going because oh gosh, Lord knows your number two hitter right now with them. I don't know when they change that lineup. I really don't. That's a discussion I don't know if I want to get into. Um, any other Arozarena that's
Player of the week. That's tomorrow.
should be right? Like I don't know who else. Ooh, I haven't watched enough. All I
242
know,
WRC plus over the last 7 games. Is that good?
I think I've
number
been
high,
told
good,
that's a good number.
good. 346 average, 130, 1.371 OPS. Jesus Christ. 6 homers. Yeah, nine. He only had 3 hits this week that weren't homers. Disgusting. Disc. Hmm. You know who's got a better average over the course of the past 7 games?
Oh, it's gonna be someone bad like Solano. Tommy?
Canzone's hitting 412 over the last 7 games.
Let's go.
Whoa! Pizza da
Give me a
pasta.
meatball.
Oh my God. It is kind
Oh,
of funny that I want to talk a little bit of that down comes out. First of all, the JP Crawford basketball jerseys, fascinating to see who wears them well. Dom Canzone's got like two like barrels on his arms.
oh
And it's
yeah.
funny watching it. We're gonna stand because I can stand in this press spot. I like it's different than when we're at home. Like seeing Dom Kenzone run. You ever seen Dom Kenzone run? He pumps his arms like this. It looks like he's trying to use his biceps to run.
Yeah.
Someone's got to explain to him that's not how that works.
It
Um,
also looks like he's trying to swim a little bit. Like just kind of,
he's got floaties on his arms. Maybe those aren't
yeah.
his biceps; those are floaties that are
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
tan skin color. He had 2 hits today against Skeens, which was they had the hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby meme ready for this lineup.
Yeah, for
Seeing
real.
Mastroboni and Garver there, but I don't know. I've been critical of Dom Kenzone in the past because his swing, his swing has so many holes in it. It has been like Swiss cheese. But we know he has power, like especially with Skeens today. I was like, just run into one. I mean, power on power. That's disgusting. Um, I don't know. I would feel like because with Victor out until September, and unfortunately learned Victor lost his mother, so he's in the Dominican
Mm,
Republic.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, just for a guy who's been such a light,
yeah.
I thought he was in Arizona because he's there strengthening that shoulder, but I was told he was in the DR, at least most recently. So, thinking about Victor because I was gonna think about Victor because Washington, the Nationals fired their GM, and I was like, I wonder what he would think about that.
I know. I saw that. Holy, that's going to make for an interesting, I don't know, deadline. The
Just need the Diamondbacks to decide what they want to do, but
Yeah.
they probably won't. Anyway, yeah, God, guys, we're gonna have to do a trade deadline show
Yeah, we
because
will. Back to
um,
Dom really quick. Like
yes, yeah, yeah.
I am encouraged. He kind of got on a cold streak there for a minute, and I anticipate that might happen again, but I'm encouraged by the increase in bat speed. He's hitting the ball out in
Hmm.
front way more than he has in the past of his career. And he is pulling the ball in the air at a very high rate. So um, I don't know what mechanical adjustments he might have made. I tried to compare his swing currently from like last year. He's gone through so many iterations of swing adjustments and hand placement and open stance, closed stance, like that it's kind of hard to draw to anything. But whatever it is, I hope it keeps working because that could be a really, really helpful addition for this team you were not expecting to have.
Yeah.
I was I talked to him too over the course of the homestand because Brittany mentioned is like, I gotta look at this. Said he didn't do anything with his hands, which I could believe or not believe. Um, I did ask him about the goggles in spring training. He was like, they're just hurting my
Oh yeah,
eyes so much. 'Cause I remember seeing him and it looked like Ricky Vaughn just because
Yeah.
of how I was just like, what? I walked by him in spring training. I said, who the fuck is this? And he was like, hello. I was like, oh, it's Dom. I was like, sorry, Dom. He just kind of looked at me sad, like, um,
He doesn't have the soul to be a glasses guy.
no, you gotta have it.
Mm.
He was saying though that the biggest thing for him is being healthy. I know he dealt with some things last year.
mm,
Don't know how much all that's true. Like he could be lying and he could actually like be a mad scientist with fixing his swing. But he did mention, Edgar and Kevin Seitzer being helpful to being around. So no, it's interesting. I mean, because yeah, I was gonna say with Victor out for an extended period of time, Luke Raley has looked a little more comfortable at first base,
he has. What's that about? Perry
and he
Hill
got hurt.
magic?
And he said, you know what? First base home. He said, this Donovan Solana guy, the Solana Sans is kind of slowing down.
It is.
Um, the sun has set on the Solana. Oh, 167 over the last 7 days. 278 over the last 15. Maybe I don't know. 350. No, I'm not looking at that number. That number's gross. Um, yeah, I mean, if you want to leave Luke Raley there for now, I still think you should trade for a first baseman. Carlos Santana, apparently, according to Boob Nightingale, interesting, interesting. Uh, yeah, he's looked comfortable, and so yeah, I mean, outside of Victor, who won't be back until September, fine running Dom out there. I mean, he's serviceable defensively. I'm not saying he's great. Everybody remembers the diving catch, and I'm like, yeah, that was like one instance. He runs weird too. Again, it bothers like the biceps don't push you forward, man. I'm like, boosh, boosh. Sorry to blind you with that. Um,
The funniest Mariners runner has always been and will always be Toro, though.
you had to
Yeah.
work Toro into this. I mean,
I have I have one bit.
put him as your background.
Oh yeah. Thank you, thank you. But which one?
See, I enable some of these things.
Yeah, you do.
You're gonna do that, and you can just leave it up for the rest of the show. I think now we should talk about All Stars.
Yeah,
Look at that. Jesus Christ. Okay.
this was the ninth inning
Um,
home run he hit on Mother's Day to tie the game. We won an
oh,
extra
that
inning.
explains. Oh, I do remember that
Remember that
one.
game?
Wow. See, I can even remember Toro games. I guess my memory is not too bad. Um,
All stars. Who are all stars, Charles? Who's the
we're gonna
starting
go
AL catcher?
alphabetical. No, no. Oh, wait, yeah, that has happened since we last did a show. Of course. Okay, we'll go over the four. The four, first time they've had four since 2018, tied for the most in the American League, and tied for the second most behind the Dodgers, who were the Frogers because they couldn't beat the Astros. Can you believe
Oh,
that? The Astros was Jeremy Pena. Jordan Alvarez like broke something else. Um, their starting pitching is Hunter Brown is apparently Cy Young reincarnate now. They found it out. Anyway,
we
yeah,
shouldn't
Cal,
be surprised.
whatever devil they sold their soul to. Jeez. Cal AL starting catcher, not a surprise. I mean, you saw the vote was 72% in favor of Cal, and the player vote too. The player vote results came out, and he crushed Alejandro Kirk.
Good.
Understandably so. I mean,
Cal's defeating Toronto yet again.
again, he terrorizes Canada. Like, given the events of the country, I would like to not joke about that. But Cal Raleigh, I mean, I, I don't know. Um, it's just so we can all talk about it, right?
Hmm.
And I think all of us understand it, but to like add all of the layers of context to Cal Raleigh's season, like to have the year he had last year, which was great, Platinum Glove, 34 homers. Obviously led that historic pitching staff. Great year. Any catcher would be happy to have that year, really happy. And he's better this year.
Yeah.
Like
It's
the
absurd
35
how bad
homers,
he is.
he's hitting for average, which I didn't think Cal Raleigh would ever do. I was like, okay, he's just gonna be the big, he's gonna hit the home runs, he's gonna have the big dumper, gonna hit the big home runs. Um, you know, like continues to be the leader that he is, continues to lead the pitching staff. George Kirby gave great props to both Cal and Mitch Garver for the game plans they called throughout the course of the week, this past week. But it's just like seeing the names he's around. Like I think his 7 multi-homer games is one behind Reggie Jackson. Like you're behind Reggie Jackson in anything. It's an accomplishment. Passing Johnny Bench records, you know, uh, you're tied with Griffey for the most homers before the break for a Mariner ever. Uh,
And still
you
have, what, 6 more games to play?
6 more games. Yep, yep. Um, like I could just text Alex and be like, "Give me a running list of things that Cal has done this year." We'd have
Oh,
another
God.
hour of a show.
I was actually. Can I read the pregame notes from before Saturday's game?
Oh yeah, those are thick. Yeah,
Because there's a lot of Cal fun facts in there. Let me
Aliberto.
let me pull them up. Here we go. All right. Cal has 128 career home runs, tied with Mike Piazza for most through a catcher's first 5 seasons in Major League history. Let's see. He's closing in on Ken Griffey Jr. for most home runs for a Mariners player for their first 5 seasons. Ken hit 132. So Cal is 4 behind Griffey there for first most home runs in the first 5 seasons. His 35 homers matched Ken Griffey Jr. for the most home runs before an All-Star break. The all-time record being Barry Bonds 2001 with 39. Seventh multi-homer game of the season, tied for second most in MLB history through a team's first 88 games, trailing only Reggie Jackson with 8 multi-homer games for the 1969 Athletics. And he's trailing Mickey Mantle's 8 multi-home run games for the Yankees for the most multi-home run games by a switch hitter in Major League history. And he's only the 9th player in MLB history to hit 35 home runs in their team's first 88 games, most recent being Luis Gonzalez and Barry Bonds in 2001, and the first to ever do it being, of course, Babe Ruth twice in 21 and 28.
Is that guy real?
It depends on who you ask.
Barry's still out on that one, so I hear.
Um, what was the one too? He'd be one of, I don't know the number, but if he gets one more steal, it's like he can one of like a handful of catchers with a 30-10 season.
Yeah,
Uh, that's in there somewhere. But
and he's got to
yeah,
get that steal. Their stealing has been insane this year.
oh yeah,
EY, man. Shout out to EY.
Yeah,
I got to talk to him too.
Yeah.
They're top 5 in both steals and attempts. One of those numbers was 4. Yeah. Then there's the occasional like frustrating game. Like I think one of the Royals games, Jorge Polanco was at first, and he got picked off. I'm like, hey man, you just came back from having a banged up knee, and you're leading off
Can't get
like
picked off, man.
yeah,
because then Randy homered right after, and I was like, this should be a 2-run homer. Alas,
yeah.
so yeah. Let's get to our All Stars. Sorry, where was it? Oh
So
yeah,
Cal's an all-star.
Cal.
So
Cal's
Cal's incredible. We are
Andres
witnessing history.
Munoz, who very deserving, back-to-back years. Yeah, thinking about it, I was like, okay, Andres, and I was like, then who else? Because I just, given the year Andres has had, we talked to him this morning. He's just also happy to be healthy. The back issue he's dealt with last year, ankle, forgot about the ankle. Um,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, he's just been outside of a hiccup from what the Twins series was it? A little bit of a hiccup there, but he's still like time to pull up Savant again. Time to look at all of the red. Um,
It's always time to
he's
pull
just
someone.
been so disgusting. I mean, seeing him, and he's on such a team-friendly contract. Oh, there's so much red. Oh God. 95 or more in expected ERA, expected batting average, fastball velocity, breaking run value, whiff percentage, strikeout percentage, ground ball percentage is 92. Sorry, it's still red. Uh, oh God, he's so disgusting. The other cool thing too is I'll get the official thing in here, and Kate again has been great at bringing it up after wins. Is that Andres, after every save, $200 will be donated to Safe. I gotta get the um, official thing here, but we're up to $4,200 after today's save of 21. Yes,
Awesome.
so he had the event earlier in the season where he went to a shelter and helped raise awareness and some money. But yeah, Seattle Area Feline Rescue or SAFE through the remainder of the season. Munoz will donate $200 for every save he records this season, including the already 18 at the time he had, to support the shelter's most medically vulnerable cats. Uh, so that's really cool. So every
What a
time
guy.
Mooney gets a save, it's another $200. Total
The
cutie
lead
patootie.
being buried in there is that Munoz has 21 saves to the Mariners' 48 wins.
That's crazy.
Almost half their wins are Andres saves.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's the Kevin Cash, formerly Scott Service meme. It's time for Andres Munoz to pitch.
Yeah.
They just they just need him to. Um, Goodness gracious. I'm sure I could pull up the Mariners stat sheet from this, but it's just been so remarkable to see him get better every year. Second consecutive, which is really nice. Um, 109 ERA, knock on head. 136 average, .85 whip, leads AL relievers and ERA. Reliever of the month, March, April.
Whew.
Yeah, he's looked great. He's looked fantastic. It just you need another arm or two in that bullpen to not burn him and Matt Brash out, and maybe
Yeah.
Gabe Spire.
Yeah.
Spire Choir quite loud lately.
So he's your
Uh,
closer for the AL All Stars. This will be his second game, but probably his first appearance, right?
He
yeah.
better
Oh,
have
yeah.
an
Right.
appearance.
He did say he was excited to actually pitch in this game,
I
so
hope
we'll see.
so.
I hope so. Um, so Andres Brian Wu, who I was worried was a long shot.
Yeah.
But thankfully, they did not think so.
And he's
Brian Wu
getting
makes
respect.
he's been the Mariners' best pitcher, best starter without fail. 17 consecutive games to start his season of 6+ innings pitched. Ties Mark Langston for the second most in franchise history behind only Randy Johnson with 20. Um, which knock on head wood is attainable. Um, just so many 11 of those 17 he allowed two or fewer runs. He's just been remarkably consistent. He's been the stopper. He's helped the bullpen is taxed, which they have been often throughout the course of the year. um it's
By
just
savant run value, he's got the best fastball in baseball.
wow. That's not surprising, but to hear best is
100th percentile, 20 run value
Yeah.
it's just
on the fastball alone.
gross.
People
17
can't touch
total.
it, man.
Yeah. I'm going to throw my fastball down the middle. You're not going to touch it.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Go back to the bench.
I'm gonna have my way. I'm done. Yeah, God. Oh my God. 25 years. It's just been really nice after the injuries that he dealt with last year to put things together. And I asked Cal about it. I was like, hey, they're roommates, right?
Yes.
I should know that. But I asked him, I was like, hey, what have you seen him like? How have you seen him take accountability for, the steps he's taken? He talked about his maturity. He talked about, taking his career, you know, and taking charge of it. And you're seeing that like on head with this. He's one of two MLB pitchers with a sub 3 ERA, 100 plus strikeouts, and 20 or fewer walks this season, alongside who? That freak out in Detroit and Tarek Skubal. He's
Ah.
he's gross. So I mean,
Oops.
anytime
Boo.
you're mentioned with him, it's not bad. I mean, considering he's got all 17 of his outings 6+, most in the majors, and two more such outings than any other pitcher. Like for a guy who was selected in the 6th round, wasn't good at Cal Poly, has dealt with a bunch of injuries. It's a great story. It's a great story. Um, any Woo praise you guys want to heap on that I haven't thrown out?
Hold on, let me turn down the gain on my microphone.
Oh my
Woo!
God.
That was a
Yeah,
good call.
All right, we're getting it
How
back up.
about like Mariners scouts praise?
Yeah, for
yeah.
real.
Like the comment that, what was it, like told Jerry DePoto, I would take this guy 1-1, right? And no one knew who Brian Wu was. Well, they did, but like
Yeah.
to make that comment about I'd take him 1-1. They found a diamond in the rough, and oh my goodness. Yeah. Shout out to the scouting department.
No,
I
it
mean,
that like
eternal glory to the Mariners pitching, scouting, and development.
eternal glory. As I was gonna say, I was like, as much frustration as there's been with this organization, uh, those departments have done their job, and they've done their job very
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'm on a time crunch, as I just looked down and realized it, we'll end with everyone's favorite non-discourse center fielder. Julio was named to this list. I kind of thought he would because of his defense and because of name recognition. I think that's it. I mean, he's been elite defensively. He had the
Yes.
one play out here at center field against the Royals that he horribly misjudged, which was weird because
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't understand what happened. Um, but his defense has been elite. Like he's always been a pretty good defender. His speed has been elite. His range is there. Obviously, we know about his ability to rob homers, but he's gotten better this year defensively, which is remarkable. I still remember some scouts thought he would land in an outfield, corner outfield spot. Some fans thought he shouldn't play center. I just always thought that was. We've already sworn. I always thought that was bullshit. Um, and he's just it's. Liv gasped. Sorry to swear for all you kiddos out there. Are you okay?
Fine.
She says she's fine. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I knew there would be discourse. Um, Opening the floor to that because I understand it. I'm sure there are some guys who are probably more deserving, but given the defense and the name recognition, knowing because this is an all-star game, right? This isn't the gold glove. You're not, well, I think guys have gotten gold gloves for name recognition before. Anyway, that's another discussion. Yeah, I don't know. Thoughts on this and Julio getting here? As I'm happy for him. He's a Mariner. I am happy for him. But I know what I said on the game reaction I did is he knows he can be better. He
Mhm.
knows he should be better. He wants to be better. Like none of that's new to him.
When you're the best defensive center fielder in the game, and you have the fastest bat, and you have a history of success, and your down year is still above league average, you get to be an all-star alternate. I'm not
I
shocked.
think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Byron Buxton named? Again, I've been moving, so
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
Springer is the real snub. That's who's
Ringer.
Toronto fans are mad about Springer not being named.
Toronto can piss
Who
off.
is having a better offensive season, but is 700 years old and doesn't have any knees anymore.
Yeah, he's
Doesn't have any spring in his step.
point point three F4 on the season. I don't know what they're getting so hyped up about. Yeah, center
Three?
fielders. 0.3
Oh my god.
as a
It's
center
disgusting.
fielder. So yeah, amongst American League center fielders, Byron Buxton leads in F4. Cedon Rafaela for Boston is second. Jake Myers with Houston is third, and then Julio's fourth
Yeah.
in F4. And his numbers took a hit over this last week. He was not good over this last week, 8 games or so. But before this last week, I mean, I think it invokes such an emotional reaction to watch him do poorly, that fans remember that and are more inclined to remember that and compare that to the hot streaks we've seen of him and not realize that, hey, he has been by the numbers technically in a above league average hitter so far this year.
Yeah.
And is it what we've seen him do in the past? No. But the conversations about I don't want him to be a Mariner anymore are outrageous and emotional. And I think he deserved to be an all-star? I don't know. I honestly don't know one way or another. But the larger conversation that is invoking and bringing up in people is just all emotion. And I mean, fan is short for fanatic, so
Yeah.
It's par for the course.
I was at a 4th of July party this weekend. People were talking like floating trading Julio, and I was like, "You are all insane."
No, that's not where we're at, and he is still a kid. Let's just try to remember that he's still a kid.
Yeah, he's baby.
No, Brittany, he didn't do what I want, so I want him exploded.
And I get it. People get emotional about baseball. They get emotional about their team. And watching him swing at sliders 3 feet off the plate is a difficult watch. It is. And also, he hasn't been as bad as some people are making him out to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Are we about to have a visitor?
We are.
Aww.
She has made herself known.
What do you think of Julio?
Yeah, do you have any Julio hot takes? Look at the camera. It's right up here.
Looks angry.
Okay. Yeah, she's mad about the Julio discourse. She is mad at anybody who has proposed Julio trades. She wants to claw their eyes out.
I can get behind that, Sunkist.
Yep.
Right. That'll do it for this week's show, just because I got another show to do. Talk about men on knife shoes and how
did we name
they're
all
bad
4
too?
All-Stars?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Okay, we did. Yep.
We're on top of it, man. We're official.
Didn't name the 5th one. Randy Arozarena. No.
Randy Rose. You, the reader.
You reader?
Sorry.
This is a video.
You, the viewer, / reader, you're reading the transcript.
You.
That's how you prefer
Abraham Toro.
Brittany, you gotta point at the camera. We all gotta point.
Toro might be worthy of an all-star vote. Have we talked about that?
No, we don't have time.
I'm gonna look.
No, we don't have time.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I should have. That's another podcast. I'm
You
sorry.
opened it up for Jake, and now
I know. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Fangraphs is
Look at
worried. My
him, look at
computer's
this man.
complaining. Is that true? That can't be true. Okay, no, that's just today. 113 WRC plus.
Yeah, dude. He's
Who
doing
hits a
it.
walk today?
0.3 F4. He's batting 287. Who is this guy? Jake's happy.
That's my goat. Hold on. Everybody look at his eyes. This is how mad you made Toro when you were talking shit. And now look. Look what he's doing for Boston. Disgusting.
Could help the Mariners.
He could.
Why get Alex Bregman? Get Abe Toro. Starts with an A.
Yeah. And he's actually a third baseman, unlike many other third basemen that we have tried over the past few years.
Luis Urias, dog. I got more mom right here than Luis Urias. Okay, well, so we see you next time. After the dreaded Yankees-Tigers road trip. It's disgusting.
Into the All-Star break, which is hilarious.
It's gonna be fun.
And then Houston right after that.
At T-Mobile. Come out to T-Mobile. Support the not Astros. I don't even care about the Mariners. Just
support the not Astros.
Yeah.
You're silly.
I'm a Texan. I'm saying that. So that's how you know it's serious.
See, Liv is so interested in it that she's grabbed a media guide. She's ready to go.
What?
You were just in the shop.
God damn it.
Time to end it. So we see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Do everything to make today a great day.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, how about those Zaps?
Oh, I'm excited.
I know. Where are you going to watch all those away games, though?
Away games. Huh. I was thinking of coming here since, after all, Rough and Tumble is the home of Circling Seattle Sports.
I love that idea. Hope to see y'all here.